welcome to week 4 of neighboring. This week we're going to talk about this whole idea of play. And when we talk about that, sometimes we misunderstand what that really is. When you look at your life and I look at my life, there are a lot of things that we just naturally like to do. A lot of us like to eat. I like to eat. That's why I go to the gym and work out so I can eat more. I like to play golf. And what I have noticed is that through all these interactions, that they're just natural ways to get to know people and to rub shoulders with them, to have conversations. And so when we talk about neighboring and loving our neighbor, it really is something that is a natural part of our lives. We don't have to force it and create new patterns. All we have to do is leverage the ones that are there, because that's what really begins to make a difference when it becomes authentic. And so, like a lot of times I'm out on the golf course or the driving range, and those are people in my neighborhood. And, I have conversations with them. I get to meet them and even have opportunities to go play again. So I've been sort of looking out for my neighbors that are next door. And I actually discovered that my next door neighbor that moved in, probably several months ago, he likes to play golf. And so now I'm just praying for those opportunities, because if I can do something like have a meal or play golf with him, then that just becomes so much more natural for me.
And as we look at the Bible, Jesus was an expert at this. Mm-hmm. Again, he is the perfect model when we're looking at how to neighbor. He loved having meals with people. Right. We see it over and over again. He's walking through a town and he sees Zacchaeus, and he invites himself over to Zacchaeus' house.
I should try that, right?
Yeah. Find the best cooks in the neighborhood and invite yourself over. But again, even with Martha and Mary, he was there. He enjoyed meals. He was known for having meals with tax collectors and even sinners, because he was focused on loving his neighbors and loving those around him. It's a natural way that we connect with people.
It really is.
It's finding things that we do, that we enjoy doing, and just doing that with other people. I love the first century church, the new church, as they're just starting off. In Acts chapter 2, it tells us a story, or it tells us how they did this, that they worshiped together, that they were at the temple each day together, they met in homes, that they ate meals together, that they shared joy and generosity with each other.
Yep.
And these things are natural things, but they're also ways that we can express love through our play, through our meals, through our activities, through the things that we do. And so the challenge this week, as you are discussing this with your group, as you are living out loving others in your neighborhood, is what is something that you can do with your neighbors this week? So we would love to challenge you to do that. We would love to challenge you to talk about that. And we would love for you to look at some practical ways on how you can love others with what you do.
When you say that, I actually noticed that sometimes, like on New Year's Day, and those big events like Super Bowl and things, sometimes I look in my house and wonder, why don't I have anybody here? And then I look next door at my neighbor's house, and he's got everybody at his house, cars back down the street. And I think sometimes as Christians, we're not as good at this as maybe people that don't even know Jesus or don't even go to church. And so I think it really is a challenge for us to step outside of our comfort zone a little bit, because if you don't have the gift of hospitality, you're a little afraid of this, or if you don't, you're not an extrovert. But there are ways that God can open up doors for you to have those kind of interactions. It may be at the coffee shop. It may be to invite them over for a meal. It may be that, you got a swim party going on. There are a lot of different ways that you can do exactly what God's saying. Just look around at what you're already doing and begin to pray and say, God, how can I invite people into this journey with me so that I can truly love my neighbor?
Halloween for us has always been something where we literally just wait at the door. People come up, knock on the door, say trick or treat. We give the kids some candy, and we really don't have any interaction with the parents other than waving at them as they leave, or to say happy Halloween or whatever, be safe. But as we were finishing up the neighboring study that we were doing as a staff team, the executive staff challenged us to really have an impact. I mean, your neighbors are out there anyway. Kids are trick-or-treating. People are out and about in the neighborhood. So really do something special, do something different that would cause you to interact with your neighbors more. Therefore, we decided to set up some chairs and some little games out in our front yard, right on the curb. And as the kids would come up and play, this gave us the perfect opportunity to actually have some interaction with the adults, with the parents. So as the kids were playing, it gave us the opportunity to say, hey, what's your name? I'm Lindy. How long have you been in the neighborhood? Where do you live exactly? And just get to know people better. We were able to communicate on a different level. And then it was cool because we also got to set up things from that point on. Now, as a neighborhood, one lady said that she wanted to have a cookout this spring. So she's wanting to use the experience she had coming to our house trick-or-treating as a way to actually just reach out to the neighborhood herself. And then, like I said, we just got to know people better. We're going to set up play dates with their children and our grandchildren. It makes us want to have neighborhood cookouts and, hangouts, marshmallow roast, whatever. So it really just inspired me to take further steps, bigger steps to love on our neighborhood, our community. So God does tell us, it's the 2 greatest commandments, to love Him and to love others as ourselves. So when you're going out into your community and doing things for them, spending time together, it's just another way of loving them. Small acts of kindness, just groups of time to come together, because God didn't intend us to do life together. So for us to be able to go into our neighborhoods, go into our community and spend time together, whether it's small acts of kindness or planned gatherings or whatever, it just speaks volumes into what God's called us to do, because really, truly, He's called us to love one another, and love is the answer. So being able to love our communities in this way just inspires us to do more, and hopefully it's contagious to everybody else, and then they will want to do acts of kindness and acts of love, because what a better world this place would be if we all loved one another the way God's called us to.